Welcome to Right on Track, a songwriting podcast. Thanks to Tone for tuning in. I'm Demi Michelle Schwartz, and I'm thrilled you're joining me on my songwriting journey. So kick back and relax, don't fall flat, and remember, stay right on track. Hello everyone, welcome back to Right on Track. Joining me today is a wonderful guest I am beyond delighted to have a chat with. Please welcome Heather Hill. Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm pretty fantastic too.
Awesome,
I'm excited about
awesome.
this.
Fantastic. Well, I'm so excited to chat all about music and healing and your fabulous album, Twilight Mist. But before we get into all that, I would love for you to share a little about yourself and your journey as an artist so far.
Yeah, it's been a circuitous route, but it started when I was really young. I have an incredibly musical mother, and I think she started me off around 3 or 4, and really I just wanted to be like her because she could play anything at any time at any place. And so she started me out into classical music, and I did that for really until I was 18. So lots of performing, lots of classical, vocal, and piano. And then I was done with it. I'm like, oh, I didn't want to go to university and do more music because I had done my degree. So I ventured into other things, other loves like English and poetry and so eventually I got myself into high tech. I had a high tech career and I used to sneak down into hotel lobbies and play the piano and play at weddings. And then eventually I heard the voice inside me say I needed to quit my tech career and do music full time. So that happened around the time I was about to have my family. And I haven't looked back. It's been an incredible journey of writing songs and really healing myself with my music and others.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that so, so much. So, speaking of music and healing, why do you think you're drawn to exploring this parallel in your music as an artist?
Oh, I just can't help it. I think when I first started studying songs, I thought, oh, I don't know who my influences are. In fact, I was kind of clumsy because I thought, how am I going to write scores and classical scores? I don't think that's going to be me. And then I started seeing I could just bring my classical piano edge to pop and rock tunes, and so I've done a lot of that. And then I just started into deep storytelling, and many of my stories were about my family and my friends and my community and just my observations. I love peace. I love peace activism. I love humanitarianism. So a lot of my topics would come from these places. And then I formed a songwriting guild, which is kind of like a book club for songwriters. And we've been meeting for about 15 years, writing songs every month. And it's kind of the landscape of our lives, these songs. And we collaborate together. It's very rich. And we get better. We get better and better at our craft as we go. And then along the way, life happens and life is hard. And I started to pursue Reiki and energy healing for myself and my family. And as I was, headlong into Reiki and other modalities like crystals and grid work and spiritual response therapy and hydrotherapy, various modalities of healing, I could see that my songs really wanted to, express that. So the latest piece is, I guess, for about 5 years, I've been writing inside of the Akashic Records, which is just a really magical and healing space where I go in there and I feel my guides, and the music just comes through in a more channeled way.
No, that's fantastic. So fascinating. It's very clear that you're very in tune with these different healing aspects and methods, and it's found a way into your music with your inspiration. And also, too, I think it's really great how you made that transition into exploring deep storytelling and talking about your family and your friends and your community and your life, because I actually have a classical music education and I too never really saw myself scoring classical pieces. I love playing classical music. I don't do it as much as I used to, but as a songwriter, I was drawn to music because it helped me to heal through things and process things. And I honestly think like music is a gift, and these inspirations for our songs seem to just come from this other place, and they come through us. And I feel like when we're able to take those moments of inspiration, turn it into a song, I always consider songs to be like mirrors reflecting our own emotions and experiences back at us, but also it can offer avenues for healing for others as well, listeners and our supporters. And so I think it's really great how you have this such intertwined experience with healing and music, and that's so natural in what you do.
Well, you said that perfectly. I mean, exactly on your journey, it's the same. We kind of heal ourselves through music. It's just such a privilege that we have this form of expression.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the other thing too is it's really cool looking back at my earlier music, because just as a songwriter and the topics and things I was exploring in my music and the things I was dealing with in life, there's a massive evolution from my debut album to the EP to my new album that I started releasing singles for now. It's like a whole other version of myself. And it's really amazing to look back and say, okay, this project reflects this point of healing in my life and things that I was dealing with. This project is a different point, and it shows my evolution as a person. And I don't
Exactly.
really think I could have evolved and transformed in the way that I did without writing those songs, without healing and getting it out. Because I'm a very introverted person. I don't really talk to people about my feelings. I do it through music. And if I hadn't turned to the craft to write and do all the things, then I feel like I would still be kind of stuck in a certain space I wasn't able to move on from. But through writing those songs and moving through, like, there's definitely that evolution in the music. And I think that's really cool as artists that we can look back at our discography and kind of have snapshots of these different areas of our lives.
Oh yeah, exactly. I love what you said there. Every your discography kind of shows your entire journey of, of life. How true.
Yeah, absolutely. So, shifting gears into Twilight Mist specifically, what inspired you to kick off the writing process for this project?
There were a few factors. I mean, I'm of the age where my parents are aging and coming to the end of their cycle of life. And my mom was quite ill in this time. And I just was giving myself permission to write about all the hard things that I was going through with teenage children, facing a lot of hard things, some mental health things, but primarily my mom passing, and she's always been my muse and my, my heart. And watching her slip away, I didn't know how I was going to make it. So the the time that I spent in the Akashic Records writing these songs was very special to me because it was number of these songs on this album are meditative, and they also clear all of the chakras in your energetic system. Like that's the intention of it. And I didn't realize that when I was writing it, but I noticed the songs started um, just helping me ground with all of the grief that I was experiencing and really my heart and love of my mom slipping. I didn't know how I was going to make it through that. And she was my connection to music and my connection to heart and to healing. So I started in with the Earth Star chakra. First song was Sacred Cycle. The next came was the Root chakra, and I could see these songs were lifting and shifting my energy. And then when I got to Twilight Mist, the third track, which is the it's the sacral chakra, you get to this track, and it's a song I wanted to share my with my mom as she was passing, and that was like a really deep space of longing. That song is really about crossing over. from the known into the unknown. And yet there's a hope and an inspiration in that I can't see what's coming. It's misty. And here we're on the bridge between the light and the dark, but it feels okay. And so that's the song that I gave to her as she was crossing. And then, the song after that is a song that I wrote for my daughter who was having night terrors. And in Reiki, I could come into her room and just call in the archangels, and I could feel a complete shift from terror to peace. So each of these songs really informed, part of my journey and how also I help others bring comfort and peace and help shift them and me. It's very interconnected.
Thank you so much for the vulnerability and opening up about all that. I think this is a wonderful project. It comes from a very deep and emotional place for you and a very personal one. And something you said toward the beginning of what you just said there really jumped out. And you said something along the lines of you gave yourself permission to
Mm,
deal with all of this and find a way to heal and get through that. And I think that's massive. I feel like a lot of the times if we're going through something, we don't give ourselves that permission. Sometimes we, put up these walls and find justifications for, maybe we deserve to be feeling the way that we're feeling or whatever. Like there's always these mental blocks and things that go on. And I think sometimes too, admitting that something's going on, it can tie into someone believing it's a weakness when it's not. I think accepting something and knowing you have to find a way to deal with that and get through, I think that shows so much strength. And so giving yourself permission to accept what you're going through, find ways of healing through that. That's the first massive step, I think, the recognizing the situation and giving yourself permission to feel what you need to feel and heal the way you have to.
yeah, it's being vulnerable. Like these songs are very much my internal space, and I'm sure when you're writing as well, they come from your heart, and they are very vulnerable by nature. And then this whole other thing of putting it
Yeah.
out there. There was
Yeah.
another mode of permission. I was feeling that, I've had a career in the regular world. I call it the regular world. And then, I do this healing work. And, for the past 25 years, doing Reiki on other people, healing other people, helping in whatever way I can, even laying hands on people in the hospital, singing to someone has a terminal illness. Um, that that space that has been very vulnerable, showing the world that side of me because my former albums, my three former ones were about pop and rock and the music industry. This is not that. This is unapologetically a merge of all the things that I am. I'm an intuitive, I'm a leadership coach, and I'm a musician. I'm a mom. I'm a lover of people, and I'm really here to serve. So that's what the stretch for me is for Twilight Mist. I also feel like I'm going from something known into something unknown, and it's vulnerable. And now I'm trying to refine my view of strength is how vulnerable can I be? How open-hearted can I be in this musical journey?
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I think vulnerability can be scary for sure. But I think
Mm,
the more vulnerable you are, the more authentic you're going to be. And that's what I feel like we need to be as songwriters. Authenticity, I always say, is so, so important. And though it can be scary to open up and share these deep, raw emotions and experiences, that what really leads to connection and showing the human side of what it's like to just be like anyone else. I think sometimes people can look at musicians and artists, especially mainstream, and be like, wow, like they're like on this pedestal and they're like beyond like who we are. But at the end of the day, like everyone's just like everyone else. We're all just human. And I think the more that songwriters embrace that vulnerability and show that through music is going to continue to share, wonderful music to listeners who need these songs to connect with, to feel seen, and to help them heal as well. So now I want to allow you to give a very brief track by track. You mentioned a little bit about some of the songs, but just for you to list them and give a snapshot of what each is about.
That is I will try to get through those as quickly as I can. There are 13 tracks. So
Oh.
13 tracks and 15 chakras. So some of the tracks merge a few of the chakras. So I'll just start out with the first track is Sacred Cycle. And it's really helping the listeners and obviously it was myself ground really deeply. So it's the Earth Star chakra is the one that we're it's above the head and below the feet. And it's this notion that circles and cycles are very powerful teachers. We experience something over and over and over, a pattern of behavior until we're done with it. And in these stories, these things we keep seeing, it's like, oh, Groundhog Day. How do we get through those and out? So I actually have a circle that I've formed where I live here, and I sit in that circle and meditate. And I can often see when I'm there what circles and cycles are ready to end. And that's really what this beautiful song is about. And it's also a nod to motherhood, to all the circles that we have. I'm ending a phase of motherhood, which is my kids are about to all leave home. And so I transitioned into yet another cycle of my life. Um, and the womb being circular, the eggs being circular, its life is so circular, the earth being circular, if you believe that. And all of these elements of the circle that's so beautiful. We just are on repeat until we get our lesson. So that's sacred circle. And then the next one is infinity. And infinity is about the root chakra. So again, it's the chakra of safety. What stories are blocking us from safety? Where does our trauma live in our root chakra? Our past, the trauma from our family lineage, it's all there. Um, so this song just deeply connects to the listener's guides and ancestors to form a clearing cycle to really shift emotions and align the ego and clear the blocks so that the listener can receive insight. It's a prayerful song, this one, but it is actually the clearing cycle that I work with myself in the song. Like every verse is how I actually go about clearing myself. Twilight Mist is the title track, and it is about that bridge between our sort of more mundane life on earth and our spiritual lives, which are possibly not on earth. And it's this part of us that lives without a care or a limitation or fear. It's across the mist or over the veil. It's something much bigger than us, um, bigger than this plane of existence and its conditions. And here it's kind of the creatures of the night come out in this song. It's got a bit of a world music sound to this and some really beautiful African rhythms in there. And it's an expansive song, a kind of cinematic, that one. So that's healing the sacral and the navel chakras. The sacral is our power center. The next song, Wings, was a lullaby I wrote for my daughter, and I offer this to children everywhere that are experiencing fear and anxiety and terror in the night or even in the day. It just acknowledges that we have a lot of cares and responsibilities that we carry, and sometimes it's too much, and we need to cast it away. We just need to let go of these cares and worries and to enable the love to come in. So this primarily this wings is about Archangel Michael, who is the greatest warrior of the angelic realm, to come in and beckons him to bring peace and calm and restore the balance. That's the solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus is around our stomach and deals with things like identity. Um, Gold is the next song, and it's also a meditation about grounding into the earth and transmuting anything that isn't serving, opening our heart to receive. It's the the heart chakra. Just again, releasing. It's this beautiful meditation of gold coming through our bodies and releasing what we don't need into the earth, and then burning off the what we don't need and the lava of the earth, and then that coming up through our bodies and just forging its way, galvanizing it, our bodies, and just causing us to reach up to the sky and grab the starlight and bring it back through our body. So it's really a neat meditation for again grounding and connecting into our heart. Sanctuary is about the sixth chakra, and it's the vocal and ultra major chakras. The vocal chakra is our chakra for our inner leader, for speaking our truth. This chakra is about, this particular song is actually about being, feeling like you're being hunted and chased by your thoughts and even your disintegrated ego. So, sanctuary is about coming into this beautiful balance and feeling safe in order to express your own truth. Other side is a song my dad, before my mom passed, said, "Will I see you on the other side?" And I co-wrote this with Tony Roost, and he had lost his mom prior, in years prior, and he mused about this. If I see you on the other side, will I know your name? And I just thought, oh, okay. We've both had this experience. We need to write this song. And it's a beautiful question. Like, what is after this life? And will we know each other on the other side? It's a wondering song and facing the unknown. And this is also healing for the third eye. So the opening of our eye beyond what it is we can see. The next song, Fireflies, is a short meditation to calm the central nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And it's a journey into the, a powerful circle again in a forest, just connecting to everything around us and to our great light within. It has maybe another ancestral feel. It's a very simplistic song for opening the crown chakra in order to receive light from our guides and our ancestors. Heart Song was my lullaby to my children and to all children. And it's a song from the perspective of a mother to her child. It's her promise and transference of all that is beautiful instead of all that is harmful. All that is beautiful and light coming through my blood, my breath, my rhythm, my heart. Um, this helps heal the causal chakra. It's the chakra above the crown chakra. The next one, Falling Stars, is a Celtic song. This came to me when I was actually in Scotland, in Edinburgh, and there's some bagpipes in there actually. But it's a Celtic form, and it's pondering the question of whether or not humanity could actually receive help from the stars if the starlight came down to help us. And musing that probably our children would have no problem opening our hands to this light, but maybe not the rest of us. Maybe we're too cynical. Maybe we're not trusting. But it's a hopeful song about being benevolent and, remaining, trusting as this light is coming into to help us. So it's healing the soul star chakra. And then Courage is a song about, um, my, again, just some of the teenagers I see around. And sometimes it's hard for parents and our community to really understand what their struggle is and to watch them and their courage and their bravery around their loss and their change that they're experiencing. And in particular, this is about one of my daughters and the courage that she's had to face who she is and what's hard and what she's facing. So this is a healing for the stellar gateway. And then Love, the song Love, really is my love song to the universe. And it's really to anchor light here in all these hard times. And it's noticing that it takes a long time for light to spread through each of us to penetrate the darkness. It starts out as a spark, then our spark spreads into a flame, and eventually we become a fire. Um, it's just reflecting my deep love of stars and light and divine timing, all on full display. The final song was written by my mom. It's called Grace. She wrote it late in her life, and I just think that in itself should be inspiring to anyone who is wanting to explore their inner creator. She wrote this incredible song, and she never thought she was good because she wasn't classically trained, but she was kind of a genius. And it was her love song, and I call it kind of her life score. And her heart was on full display. And in this song, it's like a orchestral sketch. And I never knew this until I had it scored. So she's actually playing the piano on this track. She composed it, wrote it, and I added the orchestrations. Um, one of my one of the people that helped me on this album, Robert Sibini, he did this incredible orchestration to this track. But it's truly the soundtrack of her life. And just prior to her passing, she was pretty weak because she had had a heart event, and she crawled over to her grand piano and played this love song just a while before she passed away. And I could see it was everything she could do to play this song. I'm like, wow, I get it. This song isn't just for fun. This song is her lifeline. And so I'm so delighted that it could be on this album. And really, what it does in the whole chakra mix is it integrates and unifies all of these chakras in love. Because to know my mom was to know that she was the warmest, most incredibly loving person who felt she was quite simple and she had a very simple gift to offer. So that's it in a nutshell. Those are the 13 songs.
Wow, I don't even know what to say. I'm over here with tears in my eyes.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a fantastic, fantastic album. So much heart, so much depth to it. Wow, my gosh. Whew, beautiful, beautiful. So, just to wrap up, you put together a mind blowing sheet with these different healing properties and medicine approaches to these different songs. So I would love for you to pick maybe one of your favorite songs and do the breakdown, sharing the crystal, the sign, the color, all of the things, and how that ties into that song because I'm so fascinated. You put so much work into this and it's so, so interesting.
Yeah, well, thanks for asking. This is um, really a stretch for me in the world as well. But I will say that when I wrote each of these songs, in came the chakra that it was healing and many other things. So I'll just take Twilight Mist, for example. That's a great example. It's the third track in. So that I mentioned was helping the listener shift their sacral chakra. So that's their third chakra. It's a powerful chakra for empowerment, taking your power back. In that chakra, there are 33 chambers, which is quite extraordinary when you think about the challenge of opening, clearing it. There's a front of the chakra, there's a back of the chakra. The chakra spins in different directions. Chakras are beautiful. They open and close, really to protect us. They open when they feel safe and they close when it's not the case. And the archangel that presides over this healing is Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, which is a beautiful, Gabriel's a beautiful healing angel. And the color that came through with this song was pink. Pink for the sacral chakra. That's a perfect color. And, I mentioned earlier, I work with crystals. I absolutely love them. And I do a lot of grid work every day, which is just creating different sacred geometry shapes with crystals. And then I offer them to Gaia, to the earth, and I offer them to different places in the world that are struggling or warring. And in this case, I was given this beautiful cube like shape for Twilight Mist, and it had um, 81 pink calcite crystals in it. So that was a beautiful shape that came through. And then the flower is the rose. So a beautiful pink rose. This is like kind of it's like a song medicine. I don't know how to. otherwise express it. And maybe as I live in this further and people hear it more and offer to me what it is they're seeing, it's almost like a song prescription. Like I might have a bath and I might bring a beautiful rose or a pink crystal with me and listen to the song as well for really full healing of all of the bodies and all of the energetic and spiritual bodies. And next is the tree. The tree that was showing up with this particular song was the pine tree and that beautiful pine scent and the acai berry for the adaptogen that goes with this song, like in a healing adaptogen for the sacral chakra, and the essential oil of lavender. So there was a time where I was listening to this song before bed, and lavender was just such a perfect sleepy time essential oil to listen to the song with. And then there's the key of F major, which has a frequency of 706 hertz. So every key also has a different emotional response. Um, and we know this. That if you're writing for film or TV, many composers know that certain keys bring certain emotions with them. And as per that, I just thought I'd throw in the 12 stars in this whole piece too. And it feels like Twilight Mist is an Aries kind of energy. It's fiery. It's about power and oneness. Um, and it's really about the vibration and energy healing potential of a chakra. So that gives you kind of a view of what Twilight Mist looks like from a song medicine standpoint. So, how I envision this is, wouldn't it be great if the listener had one of these things available, like maybe rose tea and a little lavender in their bath, slipped on this music and the integration of these vibrations and sounds? They'd just be filled, it would just be ease and grace for them as they received this healing modality.
So fascinating. I am just like, I don't even know what to say. That's, oh my goodness. So much thought. And again, you are so connected with all of this that it's so natural. Like just hearing you talk, it's like you know exactly how you feel and how all this connects, that it's so authentic and it's just beyond interesting. So cool. So, 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 so cool. Honestly, I'm just fascinated.
Thank you.
Oh man. So just to wrap up, what are some final thoughts you would like to share on music and healing as a whole?
Ah, you know what? I think music is part of our soul's journey here. I mean, I really hold this belief that everybody can access their own creativity and it inspires their own healing. It may inspire others to find that thing for them. But I hold very dear to my heart that our inner creators are also our divine feminine. And I really feel like the divine feminine has come to earth in such a strong and powerful way. It's a new way of being and doing. And it comes, but it's a way of receiving through creation. And I think my thing is I just want to encourage everyone to to explore their inner creator, whether it be music or art or words or coding or walk in nature. It really doesn't matter. It's just so beautiful to enter into this space and to receive.
Perfect. Beautiful wrap up. Heather, it was a joy having you on the show. Thank you so, so much. Before we go, can you please share with everybody where they can find you online and listen to Twilight Mist?
Yes, of course. My website is heatherhill.ca. So that's easy. And then you can find me on Spotify or Apple, all under Heather Hill. You can find me on Instagram if you like the more spiritual side of what I've been talking about today. It's just at Hill Plays, HILLPLAYS. And the same on Facebook or Heather Hill Music on YouTube.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And listeners, I hope you enjoyed this beyond fascinating conversation with Heather Hill. And of course, until next time, stay
Stay
right
right
on
on
track.
track.